Hello everyone, this video is going to be about the dangers of unchecked freedom. And this is going to be a smaller commentary on the evils of liberalism. And I'm going to work up to making a larger scale video. Once my channel gets traction, it's going to be like probably a multi-hour production just on the evils of liberalism. But this is going to be a smaller commentary on it, so I'm not going to go too in-depth on everything I believe. But you cannot base a society on the concept of freedom and expect it to go well, because the whole idea of freedom, no, the whole idea of a society is based on order, right? Discipline. For a society to be cohesive, for it to exist properly, and for it to thrive, it has to be based upon discipline. That's what society is. Society is the rejection of base carnal human instincts, and it is the establishment of a social contract with laws and institutions that keep the said people in check. True freedom, unchecked freedom, is what you see in nature, right? Where there is no overarching system of laws to prevent people from doing bad things, where there is no system in place to regulate the behaviors of individuals, right? So, rape, murder, theft, whatever, is there. It happens, and no one does anything about it, right? That is the true state of nature. And this is actually related to what I was talking about yesterday and about rights, but I'm not going to go into that. But a society, as I said, is based around discipline. It's saying that no, there's certain things that you cannot do, because if we allow these things, then what we're trying to build here, what we're trying to work up to, right, society, will fall apart. I guess you could say society is like an egregore. An egregore, if no one knows what that is an idea that if enough people believe in a certain idea, it essentially comes to life and can affect the physical world in a very real way. And that's what societies are. Societies do, but also don't really exist. Because for a society to even exist, it has to have a foundational belief, something that brings all the people together, right? But as I said, it's a belief. It's a belief. It's mental. It's in people's heads. It's not a physical, tangible thing that can be touched. And it is metaphysical, but is it metaphysical in the way that it's still something that can be observed? Not always. Sometimes, yes. Maybe societies may come together because of a common threat, right? So the common threat, likely, most of the times, is something that's tangible and can be seen and felt and touched. But not always. That's not always the case, because maybe ideology can bring people together and form societies and kingdoms and civilizations and empires, right? And ideology can't be touched. When you see an ideology, you can't touch it. You really, as I said, when I said you can see it, you really can't even see an ideology. Like, just think about all the religions. You can't see Christianity. You can't see Islam or Judaism or Hinduism. You can't see capitalism or communism. But what you can see is the aesthetics of those ideologies, right? So the ideology itself exists in a separate metaphysical world that we cannot comprehend, right? It sounds kind of Platonic, but I mean, I think it's the best way to explain it. It exists in a realm that we cannot comprehend, right? But for these ideologies to make themselves known, they use the power of aesthetics. There's certain images and things that we associate with Christianity or Islam or Hinduism or capitalism or communism or whatever religious or socio-political ideology, and that when we see it, we say, oh, this must be that. But the point I'm getting at here is that society is very based around opinion. It's very based around the collective agreement of everyone. And so to build a cohesive society, freedom cannot be the main goal of that society. Because what even is freedom? One of the issues I have with Western quote unquote civilization, I just consider barbarism really. But one of the issues I have with Western civilization is that it's based around freedom. Modern Western civilization is based around freedom. Just I have the right to do this. I should have the ability to do this. And the idea is that you should be able to do whatever you want, so long as it doesn't hurt anyone. And I think anyone could agree to that. Everyone could agree to that. You should be able to do basically whatever you want, so long as it doesn't hurt anyone. But the problem comes when you base society off of this, because humans get complacent. Not complacent, but humans start to want more. We get used to what we have, and we want more. And so, after basic needs, after basic freedoms have been given to the people, basic things have been met. People are gonna start to want more and more. They're gonna start to feel as if they're not free enough, and they're gonna start pushing, advocating for things that they just don't need. Um, this is something that I see a lot with you know, the rise in OF culture. A lot of these individuals seemingly think that they are entitled, right, to uploading pornography onto the internet, right? Not that they're entitled, but that they have, yeah, you could say entitled, that they have a right to do it, right? It's their body. You can't tell them what to do with it, right? Oh, you're being authoritarian. Let me do what I want. And the thing is, they're so caught up in the concept of freedom, right? I get to do it. It's my body, that they are willing to completely ignore the effects it has on the collective mental state of society. But they don't care though, because everything's individualistic. It's about me, what I want, me. It's my body, it's my rights, it's my this, it's my that, right? They don't care about us and our, right? They care about me and mine, and that's the issue. If you show them the effects that porn has on the mental state, they don't care. It's all about them. And I'm just using this as an example, but this can go for anything. This isn't just about pornography. I think the problem is just that we prioritize freedom too much. The point of a civilization should not be to maximize freedom. The point of a civilization is it should be anything other than that. It's anything other than that. But the whole idea of just chasing freedom, eventually the social fabric is going to start to unravel, because people are going to start arguing more and more and more for why you should be able to do this or that. And what makes it so dangerous is that to even build a society based around freedom, you first have to instill a strong sense of individualism within the population. So what this means is that even if something is bad, and even if it's obviously bad, most people can look at it and see that as bad. Society is going to be so self-centered and so individualistic that they're not even going to care about the people, their fellow countrymen getting harmed. They're not going to care. It's not going to matter to them, because this is going to be a matter of, well, it's not me. I'm not the one getting harmed, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to do. It's not my problem. Everything is just individualism. And so I would say that liberalistic societies are bound to decay into something even worse, right? I think that the level of liberalism we're at now, we will probably end up decaying into some sort of fascism that even the last century couldn't produce, because eventually people are going to get tired of this. It's degenerate, it's perverse, it's nasty, it's disgusting. And so eventually we're going to end up in a form of fascism that not even last century could produce. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Because this is something that even Plato talks about in the Republic, that, democracy leads to tyranny, which I agree with him on that. But that's not exactly why I mentioned that. It's just that when you give people unchecked freedom, they're going to abuse it, and it's going to lead to a worse outcome for everyone else. What you need is a not overbearing system where everything is controlled, but you need a system of you need a golden mean, right? A golden what's it called, like a perfect ratio of freedom and order. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching.